Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on when you are watching this. I am Shantae Javon Taylor, neuroscientist and success strategist. Welcome, welcome. Today, I am going to be talking about building a resilient brain for life, profession, and business in 2021. So grab your coffee, grab your tea or choice of drink, smoothie, whatever floats your boat, and let's hang out for a few minutes as I talk about the greatest technology humans have. It's the brain. And if we don't learn to harness this on a whole nother level, we will really be holding ourselves back personally, professionally, and in our business. Everything we do starts here. It starts with how we use the brain. It starts with making decisions, the thoughts we have. Everything starts in the control center, so everyone deserves how to use it better. Okay, and I'm going to talk about something a little bit differently than how I normally talk. Okay, about the brain. I'm having coffee, by the way. See my brain? I have brains everywhere. So normally, I can see your comments too. Hi, Dr. Levine. Welcome. So normally I talk about how I have founded the Optimind Institute, and my mission is to train, empower coaches and leaders to understand the brain so that they can show up more powerfully, have more powerful transformations, and be able to lead their organizations and workforces as powerfully as possible using the most advanced information about our understanding of the brain. This is where tapping into our full power and potential stands. Okay, so when we learn how to do this better, we can get to those places. Now, the reason why I have chosen in my life's work to train and certify coaches and leaders is because I know that in order to get to that 100 million minds mark, I needed to essentially replicate myself. So train people, train coaches and leaders who had influence over others to think like a neuroscientist, but to be the coach and leader that they are. Thank you, Dr. Levine, for planting the seed years ago when he asked me, could I train him to think like a neuroscientist, but be a coach? So I just want to honor you, Dr. Levine, for showing up and asking me that question. And so here we are years later, and we are certifying coaches and leaders all over the planet. So, but today I want to talk about how I had a kind of renewal of thinking, okay, because I want everybody to understand their brain. So people have been reaching out to me, especially during this time of COVID, about, how can I, build a more resilient brain? How can I deal with the overwhelm, the stress, and all of that? And they have no desire to become a coach, or they don't think of themselves as a leader in organizations. And so I found that I was turning them away, just kind of saying, well, I only really deal with coaches and leaders. But now I realize that I am leaving people behind. So I decided to run a masterclass on how to build a resilient brain in life, profession, and business in 2021 and beyond, because everybody should learn about their brain and understand their brain so that they can elevate and reach their highest level of potential and deal with the chaos and challenges that are going to keep coming, right? So if you want to show up better as a parent, as a spouse, as a teacher, as a parent, whatever your role is, you don't need to understand the basics of the brain, but also the pieces that will enhance your brain so that when you do face challenges, your brain can bounce back, and not just bounce back, but bounce back even further and stronger, and be solution oriented and not let overwhelm and challenges consume your brain. Okay, because your brain it's the gateway to everything you decide to do. So all those goals that you're trying to reach, because the new year's coming up again, right? All those goals that you set for yourself and you never get to them, whether it's losing weight, starting the business, I don't know, learning a new instrument, you keep giving up on yourself, and it has to do with what's going on in your brain. Okay, there's a reason why you haven't reached your goals. There's a reason why you haven't changed your habits. It starts in the brain. So that means you have to go another level of understanding your brain just a little bit more. And who better to learn from than an actual neuroscientist, okay? And I will tell you, my background has not been teaching everybody, everyday people about the brain. I was trained in dementia and TBI and dealing with clinical patients. So when I decided to become an entrepreneur and found the Optimind Institute, I had to relearn how to talk about the brain and teach people, everyday people, about the brain so that they can elevate their status and get to another level of focus, productivity, stress management, communication, leadership, and all of that. Okay, so everybody's going to have to go back to the drawing board if you really want to get to the next level of your goals, your habits, and ultimately your human potential. Okay, so I am putting on a special masterclass on Saturday. Okay, I'm going to put the link in the comments or in the post, and you're going to be able to register for it. Okay, it's completely complimentary, and I'm going to take you 3 layers deeper. Now, I take my certified coaches and graduates from my institute who are coaches and leaders. I take them 12 to 15 layers deeper in understanding the brain, because they need to be able to understand it in a more a deeper level, the deeper why, so that they can transform their clients and those they influence. Okay, so I'm literally training them to think like a neuroscientist and a coach and a leader. So, but for everyday people who's been dealing with these challenges, COVID, one thing that this COVID has revealed, okay, what it has revealed is that if you haven't dealt with stuff, you know, trauma, stress, overwhelm, relationship issues, kid issues, if all of that you were pushing down and stuffing away, and you were working and, you know, just ignoring stuff, I guarantee it came out during this time we were primarily on lockdown, when you've had to sit and face all of those things. And whether, you know, some people don't even know they were traumatized as a kid or anything like that. So maybe it's subconscious, but, you know, as we get older, we start to lose those protective mechanisms that protected us as kids when we did experience the trauma. And when we start adulting, you know, with all the stressors, and we use our childlike imagination and wonder, right? What's revealed is those fears, those doubts, and those anxieties. Okay, so a lot of that may have came out also during this year of COVID. But I'm here to tell you, there's a saying that I learned from a coach. The time to have the map is before you enter the woods. What do I mean by that? You're having coffee with the neuroscientist, by the way. What do I mean by that? It means that in order to deal with challenges, whether it's in relationships, in your home, in your business, you need a resilient brain, because those challenges are going to keep coming up. And if you don't have the bounce back to deal with the ups and downs, the emotional ups and downs, and the challenges and the making of decisions, all of that takes place in the brain. Okay, so you have to build a resilient brain so you can be primarily operating from your higher brain versus your emotional brain, that fear brain. That's very powerful. Okay, and I'm going to reveal in the masterclass just how powerful that amygdala is. But if you can control it, if you can do the things to minimize its activity, you could be operating from the highest level of your brain power, regardless of the situation. COVID is just one challenge. There's going to be more human challenges, okay? And we can't prepare ourselves for every single scenario. That would be exhausting, right? We can't prepare ourselves for every single stressful challenge in our human experience. That's infinity. There's infinity challenges. That would be exhausting to try to go through all that. But what we can do is build up the neural pathways, the mental maps that will help us to buffer the challenges so that we can still operate from the highest level of our brain power, highest level of innovation and creativity, all that we need in our businesses, in our professions, in our personal lives, parenting, being solution oriented. So it just makes sense in this part of our human evolution, people, humans, to understand this better. Does that make sense? Do you get it now? Because I've been saying this for a long time. Okay. I mean, some of you are just meeting me, but those of you who have been on this journey for 7+ years with me, how many times have I kept saying, you got to know about your brain? You got to know about your brain. It's because of moments like this, right? We have to know how to deal with our brains better so we can show up in our most powerful selves, because people are depending on you. You can't give in to fear and doubt. That just plummets everything you're trying to do. And I will say this as well. If you have been putting off things all your life and you keep thinking, I want to write that book, I want to lose 100 pounds, whatever the goal is, now is not the time to keep putting it off, because you can see that life can change in a snap of a finger. There's no more waiting to become all that you can be in this human experience. There's no more time to wait, because we're not guaranteed that everything is going to stay exactly how we're used to it being. It's time to finally walk in your purpose, in your power, and start checking off those goals that you keep making for yourself, but you keep getting discouraged or losing the courage or having fears and doubts or saying, I'll do it next year. There's no more time to put off your dreams, to put off your goals. But I'm telling you, the reason why you don't keep succeeding or on the path to your habits and the goals that you set is because you haven't created the mental maps. You don't understand the brain at the level that you need to understand it, to make sure that you keep crossing over the mental barriers, the obstacles that will appear when you are trying to reach another level of yourself. I tell this to my graduates and my clients all the time, and I say it to myself too. I tell them this: every single next level of you will require another level of your brain power. That means how you nurture it, what thoughts you put in it, how you deal with the stressors of that next level, how you deal with the fears and the weeds of doubt will depend on how much you understand about your brain and how to overcome those obstacles. It's not something that you could just read in a book or watch a bunch of YouTube videos. There's so many pieces of the puzzle to build a resilient brain. Okay, so you actually need someone to take you methodically and systematically through how it operates. And you don't have to, think totally like a neuroscientist, but you need someone who can distill it down and simplify it in such a way that brings all those pieces together. Yes, you need nutrition to build a resilient brain, but you need more than that. It goes deeper. Yes, you need exercise. It goes deeper than that. Yes, you need to sleep, but it goes deeper than that. There's a bunch of pieces. And the reason why you haven't been able to make the mental leaps into your goals is because you got the pieces all over the place and they haven't stuck. So you're missing the glue to really bringing you all together as your highest form of human potential. So that is what I am honoring with this new masterclass. I'm honoring those who don't necessarily want to be neuro coach, neuro leader certified in my institute, but they just want to know a bit more about how their beautiful brain works. Okay, so this Saturday, noon Eastern time, the masterclass is for everyone, anyone who's ready to go to the next level and understand how to build a resilient mind for their life, their profession, and their business in 2021 and beyond. If you are tired of not reaching your goals, changing your habits, achieving those things that keep calling you and whispering to your spirit, but you keep ignoring it. Losing weight? Are you tired of being unfocused and overwhelmed? Are you tired of not being able to deal with the stress of business and parenting and relationships, and you're ready to do something else? Then come on the masterclass on Saturday and we'll get it going. I will teach you how you can build a resilient brain so you can finally cross over the bridge to your highest level of success in every area of your life. The brain, once you understand the brain, you will have a 360-degree tool that you can use for every area of your life. How about that? That sound good, everyone? You're having coffee with a neuroscientist. All right, so I will put that link in the comments or in the post. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for watching the replay. And I do have a couple of TEDx talks as well that, I've been trying to tell the world for a long time. If you change your brain, you change your life. If you change the world, if you change the brain, you can change the world, right? So I will also put those links when I send you an email when you register. How about that? Also, I have a new group called Optimize Your Brain on Facebook. Optimize Your Brain. Come on over, because that's where we'll be hanging out before the masterclass and after the masterclass. Let's build a community. Let's change the world. Let's make sure 7 billion people understand their brain better, because I believe that that's the next stage of our human evolution, our humanity, our innovation, and everybody in this world deserve to know a little bit more about their brain, and this world will be a different place. Don't you agree? On every level. They should be teaching this in elementary school, really. Let's do that. Let's make sure that happens. So I need everybody on board now. So if you are not a coach or a leader and you just want to learn about your brain, this masterclass is for you. All right. Remember, when you better your mind and better your brain, you will better your impact in your world and in the whole world. Okay. I'm Shante Javon Taylor, and you've been having coffee with a neuroscientist and success strategist. Take care, everyone.